So today we're out in the field and we are testing the Storm Castle PEAX Gaiters. We don't like to test stuff in the factory or in the office. We want to get it out, actually beat it up. So today we got a new pair out of the pack. We wrote test on it and we're going to put it through the test to show you why it's tested and proven. So every hunter has found themselves in some thick brush. Maybe they're even on an e-bike or a dirt bike or just anywhere over downfall. So we're going to put these on and actually run on the bike with them, go through some brush, hike through some brush, and hike over a bunch of stuff to show you how these hold up. Test one is done, just ran up and down this brush, stuck my leg out. You can see a lot of the green come off the plants. Nothing's really snagged or pulled any of the fabric out. So held up pretty good, beating through that stuff. So test one held up pretty good. All right, now I'm gonna just start beating through this brush and put it through some more tests and see how it holds up. No rips or tears. All right, let's beat it up some more. And a lot of situations you're in when you're hunting, you're around rocks, you're stalking in around rocks, you're sliding down rocks. Right now I'm gonna just try to rip these up off these rocks around here. A little bit of wear and tear now. Buckle's still good. I was pretty brutal on that. I was putting all I had into it. So, I mean, that's a little extreme than what you're probably going to be getting into when you're hunting, but it could happen. You know, you take a fall on a rock, that's something that's going to happen. It scuffed up a little bit, which I was kind of hoping to see a little bit there because I was pretty rough. So what'll really tell if it actually punctured the membrane up top and down low is when we go down into the water and see if it leaks in. I'm impressed. Put these gaiters through a couple tests already, but one big test is, you know, you've got an animal down and you're working it up, you might hit your gaiters with a knife or something else sharp catches it. So what I'm going to show you is how sharp this knife is. I just sharpened it up. So here we go. Now down to the gaiter. So you're working up an animal, your leg's in the way, and you come across and slice it. Pressure, pressure. As you can see, I ran the knife across a couple times and I put a lot of pressure on it. And you can see the first couple didn't slice. You know, odds are you're not going to be hitting your knife that hard across when you're cutting something up anyway. But I just wanted to really test it. So actually, that one right here actually did slice through the membrane. You can see my pants, so obviously that's not going to be waterproof. But we'll go up to about right here on the water and see if anything else comes down through. All right, so one more test I want to do before we get down on the water is I'm going to get on my butt and sit on my gaiters and slide down the hill. Because I've had other gaiters before where I fell or slid down when I was trying to get down in on an animal and have ruined them by just sliding. So I'm going to slide down this a couple times and see if it holds up. You're going down, you lose track. Pretty good. So let's take it down to the water and we'll run it up to about these two cuts right here and see how we are. All right, so now I got it submerged and those lower two cuts are underwater right now, but the top one isn't. So we'll come out and take them off and see. So as you can tell, the one that we didn't abuse too much had a little bit of water come up underneath and get down in, but that's some running water right there too. So nothing really penetrated above that other than coming up in. Now I'm curious to see if I got water up here on these ones. It did have a little bit of water get in. You can see that. But can't really tell the bottom one because I had water come up on the shoe. But we'll look at that. Obviously you've got thicker material down here than up here, so this is gonna break on you and rip on you easier than this is down here. But even these couple holes that we put into it didn't puncture the membrane on the lower portion. Kind of a hard test because the water kind of rushed up in underneath instead of actually penetrating through the gaiter, but there we have it. All right, so Gene's going back on. getting ready for water test number 2, crossing the creek after all the abuse we just did. All right, this is the second water test. I got wet feet, wet boots, but I got dry jeans on now. So now I'm gonna actually walk through the water like I'm hunting. I'm not just standing in the water like you're not really supposed to do with gators anyway. So this is a hunting scenario, and I'm gonna take them off the end and show that hopefully they're still dry. Here we go. Obviously, I splashed a little bit up here, but let's take them off and look now. Moment of truth. Fairly dry. I mean, I got a little bit of wetness on that one, but that's the one we also beat up a bit. This is the one that wasn't too beat up. Just looking at it, the only wet spots are right here, and that might have been a fault on my part, or maybe it's the Gaiters. Maybe I didn't have that front part Velcroed correctly. Looks pretty good other than that. So Gaiters aren't really made for wading in the creeks. It's made for you to get through and shed water a little bit. It's not completely waterproof. It's water resistant. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not gonna be perfect. There isn't one thing out there that's gonna cover you for everything. I mean, in this situation, I got wet. I mean, you're gonna get wet. You know, everything else kind of held up. You know, all the abuse I put it through, it didn't really rip or puncture like I've had on other Gaiters. So I like that aspect of it. Obviously, this material up here it's still pretty thin. You can't make super thick Gaiters because it's just uncomfortable to hike around in. So I like that it's not full one material. You got thicker material down here. I like that. But sliding around on rocks and stuff like you will usually be doing hunting, it held up. I didn't feel the water coming in until I was over there standing in the deep pool trying to lower the cut down into the water to see if water would rush into those cuts. So I didn't feel any water coming into my boot until I was doing that. When I was walking around, my feet were perfectly dry. So I like that. Like I said, I have a pair of these Gaiters myself, and I've been using them now for 2 years, and they're perfectly fine. And I am super hard on stuff. I do like these, and if you're in the market, you know, we sell them here at Gearful, so pick you up a pair.